Hi guys. Now this is Cold and Frosty Morning, and it's in DADGAD tuning. So that's the thing about this one. It's in DADGAD. Okay, so that's DADGAD. Very similar to open D tuning, but you just tune up the F sharp to G, and you've got DADGAD. Okay. And it's a suspended tuning. It's D suspended. That's what it is. D suspended 4 tuning, strictly speaking. And yeah, I mean, it's good for this kind of mysterious sound. They call it modal tuning. It's not really major, it's not really minor as a chord. It's, you know, it's like this kind of modal thing in between. And I used it to play and arrange Cold and Frosty Morning. So you've seen the performance video, you've got that to follow, and you've got the tab to follow. What else do you need to know? I mean, there's loads of technique, obviously, so depending on your level of technique, you know, it might mean that you need to kind of go back a step and work on the technique before you can execute like this performance. But what can I tell you about it? Pick blocking or string blocking or string muting, whatever you want to call it, damping. You know, with my guitars I take off the palm rest. Okay, so I don't have the palm rest there, and then I use my palm sometimes to mute the strings and to damp the strings, and basically just help control the sound. That's what we're getting at. So I do that, and then also you can do that with your fingers, with your picks on the end of your fingers. So there's some palm muting. And then now the idea with this is that you're blocking and muting all the strings except for the one that's being used in the moment. So what I'm doing here with the right hand is using this little grip of the 3 fingers working, well, the 2 fingers and the thumb working together, and moving up and down the 6 strings, or well, across, maybe we should say, across the 6 strings like this, depending on what notes are required. So here at the 1st string and the 2nd string, I play it with my middle finger, 2nd fret, and when I move to the 2nd string, I've got another finger. In fact, I'm probably using my 3rd finger to block that 1st string, which means that you won't hear it. There's no danger of it ringing out. So if you're new to that kind of technique, then that's a lot of work to get string muting, string blocking, whatever you want to call it, to get that happening like automatically. That's quite a lot of work you've got to put in. And I came at it from originally bottleneck slide, where I was using the same technique. I didn't use picks, but I was using that technique, this grip of moving across the strings, blocking each string and releasing a string that you need for the note. So then I had to learn to do it with picks on, which is, I found harder, because you feel one step removed from the string when you're playing with these picks, but you do get used to it eventually. And yeah, I got used to it in the pandemic lockdowns, but we had lots of time on our hands, and that's when I got much more comfortable with the picks. Anyway, so that's definitely required for some of this song. You see that beginning there? I would probably use my palm gently just to control it. You don't want it to ring out too loud. Now you can play that really clean, or you might, despite everything I've just said about string muting and blocking and damping, you actually sometimes, for a solo piece, you do want some other notes to ring out to sympathetically support the music and the chord at that point. So it's a mixture of cleaning up the sound with really effective string blocking and damping and muting and palm muting, and then also actually sometimes letting the strings ring out. You see, I put in the bass note there. So there's actually quite a lot of noise there, a lot of strings ringing out sympathetically. And then when I play that run, that's a bit cleaner. You're just hearing one note at a time at that point. So you've got a lot of strings ringing out there, and not any at that point when you do that little run. So, that's called dynamics. That is the dynamics of the piece, and it's also personal choice. This is my arrangement. So you might arrange it as differently. Fair enough. But this is what I did with the tune. So that's a bit about the right hand there, and then the left hand. Well, I use a heavy bar. This is Charlie's bar. Charlie, who makes the capos. Heavy bar, and the thing about the left hand, it's intonation. You've got to get it in tune. Okay, that takes time if you're a beginner. You've got to play in tune, and then this song has some kind of embellishments, with these hammer-ons and pull-offs. So you've got to be accurate with that, accurate with the intonation and the pull-off. a nice little scale pattern there. You know, it's fret 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. And they're pull-offs. And then, I don't know, there's not so much hammer-ons. Maybe at the end I do this little twiddly bit. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's hammer-ons and pull-offs. And that's, you know, a bit faster than the speed of the song, the tempo of the song. So, hammer-ons and pull-offs, mainly pull-offs. And if you watch this picking hand, as I said before, the picking hand grip is moving across the strings to help keep it clean, and then you've got to be accurate with your intonation, your pitch, so, okay, what else was I doing in this song? You know, there's this kind of embellishment I was doing at the beginning, making a feature of the tuning. You get this at the 12th fret, you can get it at the 7th fret, a different chord, a little bit at the 5th fret, so these are the overtones. These are, yeah, they're overtones, ghost notes. Yeah, I mean, I would probably say overtones, really. And it's a great little test of your intonation, how accurate you can be with the bar. It only works if you've got it spot on with the bar. And it suits this song, doesn't it? It sounds kind of eerie. And then you can bounce up and down. You know, it's a nice little trick, which I really pinched that from Sonny Landreth. Sonny Landreth, the bottleneck master, does. He really kind of featured this technique in his playing a lot, in his songs a lot. I've seen Bob Brosman do it as well. It's a nice little embellishment, and it kind of seems to suit this song. So there we go. There's some ideas and suggestions and some instruction about how you can try and play cleaner and use some of these little tricks and flavours. And I hope you have fun with the song. It works at a slow tempo, or you can speed it up a bit and make it sound a bit quicker. But it does work really slow, so that's a nice way to practice it. And something different, DADGAD, a different tuning, a different flavour. Yeah, makes a nice change. Have fun with it. Bye bye.